Hello. Hello, everybody.
Bonjour.
Welcome to Artcast. Hello, Richard. How are you doing?
I am good. I am enjoying this warmer weather now that my truck runs and I don't have to run to and from the car. The snow doesn't bother me, but man, that cold was not what I was expecting.
Yeah, well, speaking of cars, Sunday I had to go to the swimming pool to have lesson with my daughters, and that's the day my
Hmm.
car decided not to run. So this morning
Oh
we were
no.
freaking out, and she's running now.
Oh
Just after the
jeez.
call, she's just tired.
Yeah, just had to. She just like in denial, just like I'm not going anywhere until it's like 0 or warmer.
Yeah, kind of.
Just refusing.
So, Artcast, what are we doing today? We are going to talk about what is happening in the region and beyond. This is our second podcast, so we still have a couple things to manage, and I'm managing sound and everything. We'll see how it goes. Richard, do you have anything to share?
First I was kind of thinking that I wanted to mention how awesome the High on Ice Festival was. Even with the little bit that I got to see of it, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to go down and go through all of it in detail. But even from a distance, like those ice sculptures were absolutely insane and mind blowing, both in the daylight and at night too. Like I can't imagine the amount of time and effort that goes into learning how to sculpt those. And I only wish I had paid more attention to actually go and see them being carved. Like that would be really, really amazing. If that was even a thing they were allowed to have, I'm not even sure.
Well, yeah, before when we were able to go and just walk, you had a lot of activities, and you could see people carving ice.
Yeah, yeah.
You had a tent with hot chocolate, and you have the
Oh, wow.
toboggan, the ice toboggan. Of course,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
this year it was different.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really a lot of fun just to go and to think about that and to see the whole process.
Yeah. It was I guess it was a good week or a bad week for it to be the winter festival. Like good that it was definitely winter, but maybe a little colder than people might have wanted. But I guess
Yeah,
they were just driving through anyway, so I guess
yeah.
it all worked out.
Well, that's the beauty of the winter festival. It's always a little bit tricky with the weather, but I've been to
Yeah.
winter festival where it was warmer and everything was melting, and that was not
Oh
fun.
no.
So I would
Yeah,
prefer,
exactly.
yeah, I would clearly prefer that.
Yeah, like how long would they last? I think even like in with today's weather, like 6 degrees, like probably not very long. So it would have been
Yeah, no. Well, I
unfortunate,
think
but
I think they say that now the sculpture are done because of the warm
yeah,
weather, the
yeah, they're
wind.
down.
So yeah, that
Yeah, the
that
wind
was good.
is intense. Yeah,
Clearly, I went with the family and we did the tour, the drive-through, and my wife and I we
yeah.
were photographing different type sculpture. That was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good. That was really good. And the
Oh,
picture
that's
that
awesome.
we had, Trevor Bolin did one on Facebook, or shared one on Facebook, with the lights behind it. It was just beautiful.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it seems like a really cool festival.
Yeah,
And then also, I wanted to give a shout out to our after school care program at the Cultural Center and the kids there who did a bunch of floor artwork with the show from last month for
yeah.
the She Said, He Said, She Said. The several of the kids came in and painted on the floor their renditions of several of the artists' work on the walls, and I was absolutely blown away by some of the talent that was there. Like they were only given basic tempera egg paints, and they are not easy to work with. They're only intended to be easy to clean up,
Yeah,
and that's about it. But a couple of kids, like they were mixing colors that were spot on, and you could tell that the paint the painting they were painting, like they got it, they got the composition, the colors, and everything. Like there's some definite up and coming talent in that after school care program. It was really cool to see, and the artists, Mike, uh, wow, Mike Crocher,
Crusher.
Sandy Trout, and me Bergeron were all like super super excited to see all of that stuff there, and we actually had some pictures. Hopefully, you guys saw up on Facebook, but yeah, it was really cool to see, and hopefully we can do that again with the next show. And that is actually going to be the Flying Colors artist group Points of View, the 8th rendition of it, if I'm not mistaken. So
Okay.
8 years going, is March 9th to April 6th. And this one is actually really interesting. They were telling me every year it's been pretty much like the running theme has always been consistent across the artists, but it's always tends to be like the landscapes, and that's kind of like the primary subject matter for a lot of the artists around here. But this year they kind of threw a wrench into that, and the points of view are all of the city of Fort St. John. So
Yeah.
it's much more about downtown, different structures, and things around the community. So it'll be really interesting to see a lot of these artists out of their comfort zones and trying something new and just seeing some great art about all the cool buildings. There's a lot of cool history around here that
Yeah.
I'm finding out about. So I'm really excited to see that on the 9th. We should have that going. That's really
Okay.
cool. Mm-hmm.
So is there a big presentation? How does it work?
So this time, the last show they did a online opening, and this one I don't believe they're doing the same thing. But hopefully, what I'd like to do is at least get some kind of video up, because we were kind of talking right about having maybe a video tour. That might be a good one to try
Yeah.
out, just to have on Facebook. But we're still open. People can come down and check it out any day we're open. But no official opening, no gatherings yet, unfortunately. But I may also see if I can talk to one or two of the artists to come in on separate days and just hang out and do some painting in the gallery itself, and then chat with people that come by about the work that's up in there. Hopefully,
Yeah.
they seem to like that idea though. So
Yeah, that's for sure. So for the first Artcast that we did, we had Brandy with us, and she was not able to make it today, but she recorded a little message for us, so I am going to play it for you. And she did her research like always, and she has a couple news to
way
share.
more than us.
Yeah.
Um, is looking for volunteers to put together craft kits or art kits. And they are giving them out to schools and organizations just to keep kids busy. And they're completely free. So, of course, there's social distancing and everything that's supposed to be in place. But yeah, so it's just this fun volunteer thing that they're doing, sponsored by ATB Financial, so that they can just give them for free to organizations that want them, which I thought was pretty cool. So if anyone is in Grand Prairie looking for volunteer hours, there is that. Not too far off from that, Beaver Lodge is hosting their 7th annual rehoming art sale. So if you check out their Facebook, you'll see the pieces that you can buy, and it runs until February 25th. But the United States artists, the USA is what they're called, they announced 60 recipients of their 2021 fellowships, is what they're called. And basically, they're awards for people all across the states, artists in architecture, design, crafts, film, just tons of mediums who have contributed to the art world. And it was founded in 2006, so it's been going on for a while. And what I thought was interesting is each award is $50,000 in cash, unrestricted. So the goal of it is kind of to help support the artist in developing and in turn giving more to the community and the art world. But it can be used from purchasing brushes to healthcare, you know? So I think that's pretty cool. Just supporting them in their ongoing development. And the other one, a little further away in Russia, the Soviet Kinetic Art Show is featuring over 400 works exploring the, I can't pronounce it properly, but avant-garde movement. So that was kind of like, it's exploring universal ideas. It's a little unorthodox, but if you look that up, the Soviet Kinetic Art Show, you can see it. There's a lot of pieces from collages to mobiles to moving sculptures. It's pretty cool. There's optical illusions and photographs too. And it's very interesting. It's one of the best critically received shows this year. So I would recommend checking that out.
Well, that was Brandy. Yeah, she had a lot of things to say, but Richard doesn't know a thing about what she said because he doesn't have the sound.
So I'm completely clueless. So if I repeat anything she said,
Yeah.
somehow, I doubt it. But if I did, I apologize.
No, she talked. Oh, I am going to tell her that we lost all of you during her thing. So,
Yeah. I feel like I should mention that one big thing that I know we really want to get going here, especially once lockdown is kind of over, is workshops and really push those again. One thing we are doing now, though, is getting ready for our youth-based workshops, since we're still kind of allowed to do those. And so in March, the first run of the 6-week drawing class is happening, Drawing Essentials. I'll actually be teaching that myself, and I'm really excited about it because, especially after seeing the kids who did like the artwork on the floors, like those kids are under 10. This class is for that kind of 12 to 18 age range. But like it really got me excited because like what can kids of that age range kind of do? And I really want to get in there and get into like the details of the fundamentals of like perspective, value, form, shape, light, tone, things like that, and really start pushing those fundamental skills that'll really help any artist, really, because I'd like to do the class as well for adults, pretty much the exact same class.
yeah.
But really help them in any kind of art, whether they do photography or painting or sculpture. It all applies. So it'll be really exciting to see how the kids kind of take that on and see where that goes. Because then if that goes well, we'll bounce that off into all kinds of other workshops, starting to get into color and painting in different mediums. But yeah, there's a lot I want to get going and offering here.
Yeah, for sure. Right now we have some dance competition that are happening in the theater, and
Yeah, I saw
Oliver,
that.
yeah, Oliver is recording a couple things. There is the festival, the performance art festival that is talking about having to record shows and then they will judge somewhere else. We're still working
Oh,
on
interesting.
they're still working,
like-
and we're working with them on streaming, and even doing a show and stream it and having the judge stream and react to that. So there is a couple
Oh,
things
that's interesting.
yeah, there is
Well,
couple things
it's
that we can do.
really fascinating, kind of how all of this has kind of forced people to rethink how they do things and how they react to things. Like I even noticed when all of this started a year ago, I noticed like a lot of musicians and a lot of bands that I follow, like for instance, that were about to release records, didn't, because they couldn't tour with it, so they kept postponing it. And now it's like that mentality has kind of gone away, and now they're releasing this stuff, and instead of kind of doing the standard touring and things like that, they're really focusing on alternative means, like a lot of charity shows online, raising money for venues that are struggling during all of this time. Like, but it's really forced people to be, I guess, like more resourceful and inventive and coming up with really interesting ways to kind of do what they wanted to do and reach the people they wanted to reach, but just without that in-person element. But it's kind of fascinating. It'll be interesting to see what carries over afterwards and what kind of disappears.
Yeah, maybe I'm a little too dramatic, but I think it's also for some, it's also surviving, because right now it's
Yeah.
going to be a year, like March 18th. That would be a year that we close the center for a couple months,
Oh wow,
and
crazy.
well, like you, Richard, you're a good example
Yeah.
too, because you lost all of your income.
I'd, oh god, 90% of it.
Yeah.
It just mostly, like, what was left slowed down entirely, because I mean, most of my client work for freelance was through sports and entertainment related stuff, and there was nothing. Like, I did primarily work with Hockey Canada, and they had no tournaments or any kind of events for
Yeah.
a good 6 or 7 months, so there really was no need for any contract work. But it's interesting though, like if it's really hard, and I know a lot of people are struggling, but in some cases, like, you can definitely find the opportunity. And I mean, I'm very, very thankful that I found the opportunity to end up at the gallery and do something that's a lot less stressful and much more inspiring, and just to get involved with the community too, because having come here just as all of the shutdown started,
Yeah.
I haven't explored the town at all.
Mm.
The cultural center was the first place I went when things started opening up, and pretty much still one of the only places I've been. Um, but it's good to have that connection and to have somewhere to kind of launch off from, and also slowly get to know people in town, because it seems like a pretty tight knit community.
So you finally made it. You have a real job now.
Yeah, a real yeah. That's my parents. There was that article in the Alaska Highway News,
Yeah.
and that was it was really nice, and it was really cool of them to do that. And I showed it to my parents because I thought they'd get a kick out of it, and they shared it on Facebook with other family and distant cousins, and all their messages were like, "Oh wow, Richard's finally made it. He's that's great. He's finally successful." And I was like, "Wait a minute, what?" I've been perfectly successful for the last 15 years. I haven't had any downtime since I graduated college. This is just the only time it's ever been in a newspaper, and I guess is more tangible for them. But it's like, come on now, guys, have a little bit more faith in me than that. I haven't been like a couch bum the entire time.
Yeah, that stereotype is still there.
Mm-hmm.
That
A lot
you.
of people don't understand, I guess, like, even that artist stereotype, but just also the I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the corporate side of it, or like the oh my god, I can't visual communication side of it.
Yeah.
The idea that there is like that kind of whole field of work and everything like that. People don't realize how substantial it is, and every company that you have ever heard of has at least interacted with some sort of graphic designer, illustrator, web designer, marketing person. Like, it's impossible not to these days. So there are a lot more people out there doing that stuff than people know.
Yeah. That's the same with the YouTube videos or what you have. It's people don't realize the amount of work, the
Oh
energy that
yeah.
takes. We've posted a couple videos during the summer, and you don't realize that for a 5 or 10 minutes video, there is hours of work.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Just the preparation, and then like the actual act of doing it, like this podcast itself, right? Like,
Yeah,
we shoot for a half an hour, but there's a good couple of hours before and a couple
yeah.
hours after, and anything else that comes along
And
the
I'm
way,
still
you never
working on
know.
sound problem. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, it's a never-ending struggle.
yeah,
It's as soon as you move, unless you have a permanent setup that you can leave and never touch, as soon as you move something, it's going to be completely like from the ground up, having
yeah.
to figure out problems.
And so that's the thing with us. S- Knowing what was happening, thinking, okay, our video call are going to stay or not, and deciding that yes, they were going to stay, or at least people will use it.
Mm-hmm.
We tapped on grants to get equipment, so we have two 4K cameras, we have one other camera, and of course with the
Yeah.
theater we have all the sound equipment.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I think it's like I was saying before, like there's definitely an opportunity to kind of be able to provide a service for the community. Sorry if there are meows in the
yeah,
background. My cat just decided to come in. Um, like it's that stuff that most people can't afford, but is really kind of becoming necessary this day and age. So it's really cool that if we can make use of that kind of stuff and offer that kind of thing to the community for different events and stuff.
yeah. And so we did a meeting with the school district 60 where there were 30 people
Yeah.
in the big room, and everybody was on Zoom, and the instructor for the workshop was on Zoom too. So
Oh,
that
that's
was,
awesome.
yeah, and that did work well. So that was good. That was good to have that going.
Yeah.
And so that's where we're going to, maybe in the next future, to be both in person and on Zoom, and having our equipment go with that. So if you rent a room with us, now we have a really nice room between the gallery and the library. We have a really
Yeah.
nice room where business meeting will be perfect over there. And so that's what
Yeah.
we can provide. We can provide a Zoom and working on the picture and on stuff like that. And then I
Yeah, I
realize
think.
that my green screen is not even good, and sometimes I have a spot on my face that are going through. But
I
that's
noticed
just
that
my
too, but I didn't
lighting.
know if that actually showed.
I
Um,
am in my office, and that is my green screen behind me.
you're in your office at the cultural center with
Yeah,
the green screen of the gallery behind you
well, it's
instead
a
of just
picture.
going to the gallery.
Yeah, because I didn't want it to move my computer and to
Yeah, it's a
redo
lot of work.
everything.
Oh, I'd be like you're saying that's 15 or 20 minutes worth of work right
Yeah,
there.
and I
But
almost took a picture of my office cleaned, keep it,
just a green
and
screen
put it on the
in the
green
background
screen
so people don't have to know.
when it's actually a mess. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, there's there's a lot of stuff you could do with the green screen nowadays with Zoom meetings. Make yourself look like you're not on vacation or not laying in bed while you're
Yeah.
on a call. But yeah.
So we have the gallery is open.
Yes, it is.
The room booking is open. We have workshop, but you said we have also Let's Art program, which is a free program for
Yeah.
teenager and kids.
It is absolutely crushing it. I think they have been full for both the Tuesday younger group and the Friday teenager group.
Yeah.
I know there's talk about trying to find another day or something in there, but like it's absolutely amazing. If people want to go, I think it's a waiting list is what I understood, and if people don't register for the following week, the people on the list will get a call. And Diana Hoffman is the instructor for it, and she's so awesome and has so many ideas and does so much cool stuff with the kids. Like they were doing like lino cut printing a couple of weeks ago. She did several different kinds of Valentine's cards for both age groups. They were doing some sculpture last week. It's such an awesome program and so amazing that it is free. So if you can get in there, get your kids in, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, my daughter did it a couple months last year, and that's true that her skills went up like crazy.
Well, and you'll just get to like try things, I think, that don't really come up all that often in art class in school, right? Like there's her being a practicing artist herself, and just kind of going with what she's interested in and stuff, and being as eclectic as her interests are. You're definitely going to get some new things to try.
Yeah. In the category, so.
Yeah, she agrees very much, and also wants me to feed her, I assume, even though it's nowhere near her dinner time.
Well, we're close to 30 minutes. So next show in the gallery, when is it?
Next show, March 9th is when it will be up. We may have it up a little bit before then, but March 9th to April 6th, Points of View. It's all the Flying Colors artists. So a lot of artists that you've seen in and around the gallery before, but all new work and definitely very different. There she is. She's making an appearance now. Whoa!
Wow.
Oh, that was spectacular. Oh,
thank
she's very
you. We're
upset
going
now.
viral now. Thank you.
Oh, that was good. But yes, March 9th to April 6th. So you guys should come check it out. and that was fantastic. I can't believe that happened on camera.
Well, we can't really do better, so guys, we're going to leave now. There is
Yeah,
a cat to feed
Yep, apparently.
and to rescue. Well,
Yeah.
that's also why I'm in my office, 'cause at home that would be exactly the same. Maybe with
Well, the
kids
door
too.
was closed until the cats opened it. So
Yeah. Well, my cat would have just scratched on the door.
yeah.
Okay, thank you very
Uh,
much, and see you next month.
Bye, guys.
Ah, nice.